Hello and welcome to another random Delboy video. This one is a little bit different to the other random gameplay videos because I used to do a few recordings of games that have been rewritten. Something like a game that you used to see on the Commodore 64 and then rewritten for modern PCs with enhanced graphics. So a little bit of backstory. I've had this game on Steam called Vampire Survivors for a number of months, but I've never loaded it up. Last week I did a live stream and played it just before the live stream and got addicted to it. That I thought, oh, I must tell my friends about this, and pumped out a live stream, and it seemed to be quite favourable. A friend of mine called Steve had actually already played it a couple of weeks or maybe a month or more previous, and was giving me a few pointers, which were very beneficial to me. And I came to my own conclusions after the stream on how to play this game. So, what is the game? It's absolutely very, very simple when you're watching it, but quite difficult to describe. It is like a rogue RPG type game, only in this particular instance, you are a character, you have one weapon, you are in a cramped environment, and all you control is your movement. As you move around the screen, your weapon that you're introduced with will kill the creatures and leave a gem behind. When you pick up the gem, you gain experience. When you get to the end of the experience bar for each level, an option of extra equipment is presented to you. They come in three forms: offensive, defensive, and passive. Um, there are several offensive, several defensive, but the passive weapons increase the strength depending on the weapon that you've got. That will become more apparent as I go into the gameplay of this. Now, what you have to understand about this game is the more you play it, the more you will power up. And if I hit the power up button on my screen right now, you will see that there are little ticks, which means that my character will instantly start with higher power than you will have if you first play this game. As you play the game and you progress, you will collect these weapons that I'm showing on the screen right now. And you will see there are things like cross, water, which is like holy water, a rune tracer, which is like a weapon that fires and rebounds around the screen, lightning, etc., etc. Some passive ones are down here. Some increase your health, some increase the strength of the attack in the area that you're in, which is more like increasing the aura around a defensive weapon. Now, it might not make sense to you at the moment, me showing you all of that, but I show it you because you will see right now when I go to start that you choose a character. And when you first play this game, you only have Antonio. When you collect money, you can purchase these extra characters. And on the left-hand side, you will see what I start off with at any particular level. So if I was to choose Imelda, I've got health of 120, and I've already got some speed buffs and cooldown buffs, as shown on the left. Also, when you start, you only have one area. As you level up your character beyond level 20, you will unlock other areas. I believe there are 4 with some what they call hyper mode versions of those 4, equaling therefore around about 8 or so. And then the unlocks are basically just what you've unlocked during the game for achievements in Steam. There is something I got extra on mine called a bestiary, and it basically shows you the creatures that I've killed. As you can see, there are 17, and I've come across bats, skeletons, zombies, mudmen, flower walls, ghosts, werewolves, etc, etc. And you will see on the right hand side their power. So the best way now really to experience this game is to start one game up. So we'll hit start. I'm going to choose the character that I'm playing with at the moment, which is more like a cleric. All this cleric does is fire holy water. I choose this character because it's got maximum health, 180. You get that off the bat, and it has what they call a defensive ability. So when I was talking about offensive and defensive, this one is salt water. That's basically a defense, as is Poe, who's got garlic. The ones that have got projectiles are these, and those are offensive weapons. They fire into the horde and kill the creatures. It'll all become a bit clearer as we play. So I'm going to hit start, choose my cleric, hit start, and most people are choosing the forest, but I'm going to use the inlaid library just to be a little bit different. Okay, and then we'll hit start. And as you can see, I'm moving quite quick. Nothing is firing because the fire is random. And as you can see, that it's already done some fire for me. And I can now choose one of 3 level ups. That is an offensive, that is a defensive, that is an offensive. I'm going to go with Santa Water because that's what this character has got straight away. And as you can see, randomly, it's firing more projectiles. So now we've got some more options as I've leveled up. Again, offensive, offensive, and defensive. I'm going to choose garlic this time because I want to have a buff around my character so that any creatures that wander into me die. So we'll choose garlic. And now you can see a ring around me. And as I move into these creatures, they just die instantly. There we go. Now I've got slightly more options. Again, I could alter what I want to do in regards to altering the build of my character. So I could go offensive, I could carry on with defensive. Those ones are down here. I could have more center water, but I could also raise the inflicted damage or shield from damage. I'm going to raise the inflicted damage because anything that wanders into me will then die slightly quicker with the 10%. And as you can see, these early creatures, I can just walk straight into them. They'll do absolutely nothing to me. So this is going to get absolutely diabolically hard a little bit later on. Now we've got a level up here now, and we've got some extra stuff that is more passive related. So you can see I've still got an offensive, but I get now a passive for increasing my experience or getting coin. Now coin is something I haven't touched upon, and it's the one I'm going to choose in a moment. And that is that you'll see around the map little candelabras. When you hit those, you get some extra buffs in relation to money or food or other slight buffs that will help you. Food is going to be very important because it will give you the blood that you need to carry on through the game. When you touch these creatures, and they will be harder later on, they will take blood away and you will be looking for food like anything. I'm going to choose coin, and the reason for that is I want to have as much money at the end of this level so that I can buff up for my next play, because inevitably you will die, and the only thing that you will have at the end of that will be money to buff yourself up for the next time that you play it. So I'm going to choose Stone Mask and then continue to play. As you can see, I hit the candelabra and I got a coin. Nothing special at the moment. like I say, you're just basically wandering around killing these. So I can now increase my garlic ability, which I think I'm going to do, or I could increase the base damage again, or I could have a projectile weapon. Now the projectile weapon, if you have a look, it's got a little thing to the right of it. It says Evo, and it's got this weapon can be evolved by using not only the fire wand, but also the spinach. Okay, that's quite important to know. I'm going to choose, like I say, garlic, and then hit the escape button. When I hit the escape button, I've got a map, but more importantly, on the left-hand side, you can see that I've got some extra information about the weapons at the top. You'll see that the Santa I've got now 2 levels, garlic 2 levels, spinach 1 level, and the mask 1 level. When I get these to 7 or more, along with the passive ability, they will evolve into a much stronger weapon. That is how it works, this game. And like I say, it looks and plays and probably sounds very, very like boring. What's the point? But it becomes addictive just purely because of what's going on the screen. I'm fully in belief that certain games are addictive because of the journey that you take yourself on, rather than the inevitable end. I'm very big on that. So I'm going to, in this case, still choose a defensive weapon, Santa. That will make it up to 3 of 7 upgrades. And the nice thing about the water is if you stand in the water, you also are protected. Not only does it kill the creatures, but it will also protect you. And that's very important if you had hordes of them, because you could stand in these water pools and you will survive. So I'm going to increase the spinach. It won't be very long before these creatures will take double or 3 or 4 or 5 hits. Right now we're at a very, very early stage of the game. And all I'm interested in, like I say, is money and experience. There we go. So we're going to have, I'm going to augment my health. And when so you'll find I've got a little black bar now to the right of my energy. When I get some food, that means that my energy will now be like nearly 200 rather than 180. I'm going a little bit more gingerly around the edges of these creatures, just in case they're now starting to level up higher than I think they are. I'm going to increase Santa Water again, because there seems to be more creatures now appearing on the screen, and I could do more with more of these water wells appearing than I can for defeating the creatures. You must weigh up in the game whether you should power up at a very early stage when you only need to hit them once, or whether you should increase the other abilities so that you can last longer later on. So now I'm starting to destroy these a bit more. I want to pick up those gems a little quicker, and I can get this magnet type thing called an attract orb. And now I can be further away and my character will pick up the gems. Now from here I need to be very careful, because it's going to get quite harder from now on. They're going to take more hits. So as these skeletons come on, you'll see that they don't die instantly, and they can come virtually into the center of my circle, which means that they basically can kill me quicker. I'm going to increase my garlic a little bit more now, because the other important aspect is something called cooldown. Now, you fire so many weapon projectiles, like 3, 4, 5 at a time. They won't fire again until the cooldown has occurred. So you really want to be careful with that cooldown and get a couple of those, but not probably in the early stages of the game. So as you can see, I'm starting to get hit a bit more. I'm going to do some more base damage, because I could do with these dying a bit quicker than they are. And I just need to tread a little bit more carefully. I might start to think about getting a projectile soon. But for now, the garlic is doing quite a good job. Now that sort of like mummy that you see there is what they call a mini boss. You can have many of those on the screen at once. But generally, all you need to do is just kill those, and they'll leave a chest. We'll come across chests in a moment. So I'm going to, at this stage, reduce my weapon cooldown. There we go. I was waiting for one of those. I'm going to click that. And now my garlic power will basically be on quite a lot. Be careful also that you don't get trapped behind some of these objects on the screen, like the library there, because they will swarm in on you. Might need to move a little bit quicker, so I'm going to increase my movability. Like I say, you just go round and pick up the gems. Later on, I'm going to venture out a little bit further. But at the moment, I need to sort of like keep these lower end tier creatures on the screen a bit longer while I pick up these gems to level up, because I could do with a projectile weapon. And there's my first chest. I'll just basically choose my weapon quickly here. Now, if I open this, it will do an animation. You can quit the animation quite quickly by hitting escape, but for this very first one I'm going to let the animation play. So I click open. You'll see the coins rise up, and then it will give me a weapon or a passive weapon, and when I press the button that disappears. You can actually get rid of that very quickly. You could just press escape. And as you're playing the game, you'll tend to find you'll be doing escape a lot. Because really, you just want to get into the action. Like I say, I haven't got much coin at the moment, other than that chest that I just opened. So what have we got now? We got a passive weapon that I want at the moment. Not really. So I'm going to continue with Santa Water, because, like I say, it's very important that you get some of these weapons up to max level, like level 7, along with a passive. It must be with a passive that works with the weapon of choice. So you can see I'm actually only using 2 of my 7 slots in the top left-hand corner, and I've got more passives than I have attack weapons. Going to choose Santa again. You can see it's firing randomly onto the screen, and I can just stand in these puddles and they won't get me. Got a chest, press escape. Got 92 coins and some more Santa Water. So I should be near the top now with the water. Now, what you want with the water is an attract orb. That's the passive ability. Because then the pools of water move in towards you, protecting you more. It's a very, very interesting mechanic in this game. And as you can see, look, the creatures now are much hardier than they were before. Taking much longer. Get some food, get some coins, and I'm going to increase my health a bit more. Always good, always handy that later on, because when I find some food, I'll be able to go through these creatures a little bit more, and it will fill the screen with creatures. It is inevitable. I've been going now 7 minutes. Generally, my games, or the game for each level, lasts about 30 minutes when you're then sort of like overpowered a little bit. Like I say, if you're ever unsure, just go through the sparkly pools of water. They will protect you. And inevitably you will have to go into other areas. Okay, I think I've got enough water now. Whatever's chosen to me now is going to be different than water, I think. Yeah, could do with getting some gems about now. What you also don't want to do in a cramped environment like the library is go too far down or too far up, because the water will just fire into the background, not killing any creatures. Some candelabras, we haven't seen some of those for a while. Okay. Let's get a magic wand. I've now got a projectile weapon. So as you can see, I'm not only firing now holy water, I'm now firing magic bolts. Let's boost that up a bit more. And increase the base damage. There we go. Gone a bit too far down. I'm going to have to bounce back up a little bit and circle around. Okay. More magic weapon. So it was a good job that I increased my health, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been getting hit a little bit there during that section. We'll increase the garlic to level 6. And that was a special weapon that's pulling in all the gems off of the creatures before they even die, which is very good. Now I need to increase the level of the passive weapon for garlic to actually get really anywhere with a super weapon. There we go, so I got 3 things there. That's quite good. And a lot of coin. So we're up to 498 coin, quite happy with that. As you can see, look, these are those one-hit creatures that you saw at the very beginning. The game is basically easing me in to go, oh, I'm going to give you a sense now that you're progressing really well. But I tell you what, in a moment, that's going to all change. There will be creatures on the screen and mini bosses all at the same time. We're at level 26. Yeah, notice that those creatures there that are spinning around are really taking a hit for me. Need to be very careful around them. I could do with some food. Haven't seen food for a while, so it shouldn't be too long before I actually get some of that. Oh, I am getting hit. Good. Right, flamethrower. Like I say, that's an extra good weapon to have, but again, it's something that's random. And I really want food. It may look like I'm actually near the end of death with my bar, but actually that's probably around about where I was at the start because I augmented my health. But all you have to do is just slow down. If you just inch forward, they basically won't come in very far before they're dying. It's just I'm flying around the screen a little bit more than I should be. So it may seem like a very, like I say, boring game in certain retrospects, and indeed it can be. It's really how much enjoyment you get by just having a simpler type game, really, rather than something that requires your attention an awful lot. I find this to be a very passive, enjoyable journey, and it's nice that the random element is the weapon side. So the only reason that I chose the passive ability, i.e. the water and the garlic on this, is because it's a cleric, and you wouldn't really have, at this particular stage of me playing this game, them wielding a sword or something. You know, they would use prayer, wouldn't they, or holy water or something in their life to get through hordes of the undead, if you see what I mean. Going to need to fire more projectiles shortly, and as I said, there's going to be random moments where there is just going to keep circling in and in and in, but luckily I've got my passive ability keeping me alive just enough for me to continue to inch forward. I'm continuing to move forward, and all I could do with really is just a little bit of food, really. Things. There are extra special books later on that give you the ability to see a map and all the creatures that you've killed. They are random. They appear at certain levels of your ability of experience. So I'm at level 33 now, so I'll be expected to see some extra books or a special for me. Just keep moving forward slightly. There we go. And as you can see, ooh, that's shields from damage, we'll have that. There is a mini boss there, look, a Hydra of a sort, a Medusa. And now they're moving very much quicker in towards me, and my ability to cloak in is actually diminishing. I got an extra wand. That's not going to help me much. So I need to sort of like circle round a little bit. But it's still hanging in there. Look, the old garlic, salt, and the Santa water. And what I'm trying to do now is keep the cooldown if I can. because the more they bump into it, the more I'm using that ability, and it does really need to cool down a little bit. Yes, got some food at last. Now we're on to the witches. Now the witches is where I really start to feel the pinch a little bit now. I've evolved the magic wand and it fires with no delay. So there we are. I've evolved one of the weapons up to level 7, and you can see now that the wand is now firing repeatedly with no delay. My God. Certainly got some weapons then. So I'm going to follow the arrow now that's pointed to the right of me. And I'm going to inch along, because just because that weapon is firing away magnificently, there's not so much on the screen at the moment, and that's going to change. I am going to get a heck of a lot of hordes all coming in. I'm quite happy because at the end of this game I've got 890 coins, which I can use to really boost myself for the next gameplay. The time is only really good for you at the very beginning of the game. Won't really help you here, but it is very good if you've got the garlic weapon, garlic passive, because you could just wander straight into them. Need to attract more of these gems towards me so I don't have to go quite so close to the creatures to get them. They really are starting to come in now very quickly, and as you notice in the top right hand corner, my level has gone up to over beyond level 40, and that's the reason. It goes up in 20s generally, and I don't expect myself to get to level 60, which would take me beyond where I've been before in this particular game, because I've randomly really been choosing rather than thinking about the build that I want to have for this particular game. So anyway, the boss, you notice the mini boss there is actually taking a pound of salt water plus all of the shooting ability that I'm doing, and it's still not dead. This is where you know that you're heading into that territory where it's going to take some time. Movement not really going to help me really. Take all those gems, thank you. Like I say, it's just a really, really fun little game. And I was so glad that I randomly chose it, and it was the biggest helpers really for me came from Steve. I wanted to learn this game after I played it in my stream. I wanted to learn it myself, and this is everything that I've learned so far has not been from anything other than just playing the game, which is why on Steam, if you look at how long I've played the game, which is at the moment just beyond 10 hours, I've learned so much. But I don't feel bad about that, because it's the journey that I've been on. I've learned something, I've got a massive enjoyment out of it. We'll go for the hollow heart. If I can get to that chest, I'll be very happy. Chest can only mean money for me. And like I say, at the very beginning, choose what you want to do. If you're introduced to this game for the first time, you will want coin. You will need coin so that you can get these buffs and a head start at the very beginning of your next game. but then ease off a little bit when it comes to coin, because you'll want to level up quicker. So if I could tell you any ability that you really want to put all your ticks in right at the beginning, choose greed every time. Greed is good, as Gordon Gekko used to say, and that is definitely apparent in this game very early on. Oh, got Captain Pugwash after me. You can see I'm not really moving too much. I'm basically just firing left and right, keeping that big creature at bay and staying in within that water line. He'll turn into a chest, hopefully. There we go. So I'm going to take up another projectile now called the cross. And because of all of the passive abilities that I've picked up before, it's not firing one cross, it will fire more, because I've been building up a passive ability before I actually even picked up the weapon. So automatically I'm sort of a master of it. I've been having a little think about what I'd like to see as an extra to this game, and I think it would really benefit the game if there was a day and night cycle. Really like to see that, because that would add an extra element into what to use depending on the time of day. Minecraft had that right at the beginning. I'm surprised that the developers didn't think about that. So we're at level 47 now, playing for 21 minutes. We're not doing too badly, but as you notice that my progression is now becoming to be much slower. I am able to keep the creatures behind me at bay while still moving forward, which is good. So that means that what weapons I was choosing at the beginning are having an effect, and has kept me above the watermark a little bit to keep me alive. The inevitable will come. I'll be surrounded and I will have no chance of winning. But apparently the levels are like well into the hundreds, and I'm really at this low stage. Notice that they're now starting to creep up on me and behind, and I'm not moving quite so fast forward anymore. So I really am now starting to suffer with the weapon choices that I had at the beginning. Most people think that garlic is probably one of the strongest things to have, and it's not. But it is a very good beginner weapon. Incredibly good beginner weapon. When you level up the garlic to a good level, you will see that it fills the screen totally sort of black, and it kills really, really quickly. Never had any of these, so I'm going to have to choose the axe, I think. Then the laurel. Now, I could have had another axe. So notice now, look what's coming through towards me now. More of the creatures that basically take more than one hit. But luckily that water is still keeping them at bay a little bit. Thank God. I think we're going to need more projectiles. I can hardly see now what's coming towards me and what I'm picking up as gems. But I do know that I'm not having blood taken away from me at the moment. I am needing to move a bit more gingerly and a lot slower. I have to have that cooldown because basically the weapon disappears and then comes back again when it cools down, and I'm using it so much that I'm just basically at some point going to run out of cooldown and it's just not going to work anymore. Now I need the crosses a little bit more because I need them to do more damage and project forward a little bit more than they have been previously. Notice now that we've got bats coming in. My God. Need more projectiles, I think. Oh, we now got a big boss. Bloody hell. Didn't see that one coming in. This is the witch. She's a pain. Tried to stay in the salt water. Yes, she's dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Level 59. Not doing too badly. 25 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make the 30. Not the way that things are progressing, because I could have done with more hearts to actually give me more health than the projectiles, because they are going to swarm in on me and I am not going to have enough energy to last through it. Just not going to happen. Look how long it takes to hit these hydras. And those are going to be intermingled shortly with all the other creatures. So I'm going to be swamped and I'm going to get no further. I think it's the inevitability now that that's going to happen very, very shortly. And I'm still quite far away from getting the next level up, and it will probably not offer me anything that's going to be worthwhile. Could really have got my garlic ability up higher, faster, I think. Thought so. All it offered me was an axe. Great. Here we go. Now, if I can't stay in that centre there, I don't think this is going to work. As long as if I can try and stay within these water pools, I might just have a chance. Oh, another axe. I want that for. Stay within these pools. Yeah, all I'm getting now is coins or food. But, oh my God, see what I was talking about when it comes to you are just going to get swamped. that was a bit silly. I should have gone coin then. You can't store food beyond the maximum of what your health is, so that was a waste of time. Oh wow. I'm going to stay near that coffin. I haven't seen that before. Oh, is it? Can I get that? Am I being greedy here? Yeah, I was really. All I got was coin. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me. I really want that coffin. Yes! This is the first time I've seen this, by the way. Thank you. But the vampire is in another coffin. You bastards! That's not fair! I've got to find another coffin. Bloody marvellous, isn't it? Eh? That's a bit of a bastard, really. I'm... Oh, look how many's coming now. I had to rush through then. I just don't think I had any other way. And my blood's going really down now. Oh, that's ridiculous. No, no, don't die, don't die. I love you too much, you bitch. Oh, and the inevitable happened. Quit. And there are my stats. And I hope you found this video enjoyable. It's a really interesting game that can have as much depth as you want and as passive as you like, in the fact that all you're really doing is just moving around, and then the random choices that you make in the game. So I'm going to really recommend it. It's on Steam. It literally is a penny under £4. It's the most enjoyment I've had in a long time, and it's literally about 400 meg as an install. It's constantly being evolved still. It's not early access, but they are adding more elements all the time. And with that, I'm going to bid you adieu, and I hope you found this enjoyable. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.